Ooh, ooh, ooh. What's up? What's up, guys? Got some music for you. Trying to set the mood. Set the mood. Set the mood. Can y'all hear that? That's a little too loud, ain't it? Hey, 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 hey. Come on in, guys. Welcome. Hey. Hey, I see our special guest has come into the house. Let me see. Hey. What's up, Bruce and Glenn? What's up, Raphael? Hey, Deanna. How you doing? What's going on? Why does my music keep stopping? Production. I gotta figure out my production. That's more like it, right? Not sure what's going on. We gotta vibe out. Just setting the mood right, that's alright. Hey there, how you doing? Deanna! Let's bring Johan in. Hey, I'm gonna spit a hot verse for you, Johan, while you coming in. Hey. No, I'm not gonna do that because I'm not a good lyricist.
You just slowly like
one of these, right?
what's up, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Oh, you know. That's all you can say now in response to questions like that. Oh, you know.
Exactly.
And
100%.
everybody knows exactly what you mean. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
you know.
It's crazy, man. It's so crazy. Let me turn the vibes up. Let me turn the vibes.
Go ahead.
We'll get into the discussion. Yeah, man. No, seriously, it's interesting times. Very interesting times.
Understatement.
Yeah.
I feel like here's the thing, in the past when people ask questions like, how you doing? It's a meaningless question.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, that question really means something.
Like, how? No, but really,
No, but for real, like,
how are you doing?
how's everything going? Like,
Exactly.
Take a pause and answer that question for real right now.
It's crazy, man. It's really crazy, and we've always been on the same page about a lot of things, and I feel like it's just interesting, like all of what's going on right now. It's crazy. We'll get into obviously what we're going to be talking about, which is mentorship, but
Yeah.
like to ask the question, how are you? How have you been?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, you know me, I'm usually like joyful, inspiration, everything all the time, on 10. And there's been some highs and lows. Early on, mostly highs. And there's definitely been some lows where just grieving, dude. Like, grieving the old way of life that, has passed on. Grieving not being able to have some of the freedoms that I had before, and not judging, just stepping into what it means, even in this place, to kind of grieve things that are lost, because it doesn't always have to be a person. It can be a way of life that has been lost, and like I said, without judging that, because I think people like me, sometimes people like us, we want to always bring the positive, the joy, the love, the goodness, so we don't allow ourselves to just hit this space where it's like there's a little bit of grief happening.
Exactly.
So I've allowed those. Yeah. Yeah. And at the same time, with what I do as a coach and as a speaker, work is great. Surprisingly, from a coaching standpoint, that was a surprise to me because I thought a lot of people would start to act from fear, and people were not acting from fear. Now, as a speaker, there's a lot of assemblies that have been canceled and events, but there's a lot of people also that are pivoting.
Yeah. Well,
So,
look,
yeah,
right, that word pivot. I'm gonna
yeah.
pivot. I wanna introduce people to
Go ahead,
who
go ahead.
this great man is. So this is Johan Khalilian. I have known this guy. I had the pleasure of knowing this guy for like, well, it's going on like 7 years, I think. I did the
I
math.
feel like it feels longer. Is it only 7? I
I
feel
feel
like
like
we've known each other for a lot longer.
maybe it's a little bit longer, but the funny thing is how we even met was almost serendipitous because we met whenever you were modeling. So he's
Right,
number 4 models, and he was brought to us by a photographer that we were doing a photo shoot with. And
right.
remember, we were getting ready to go to a fitting, and we met you
Yes.
and our other friend Jessica, me and Courtney, and all 4 of us just like, we sat on that long train ride out to Brooklyn. I think it was like Bay Ridge or whatever, and we
Yeah.
just stood up for like it was like almost an hour, 20 minutes, hour and a half.
Yeah.
And
And
so
we ended up kicking it the whole day.
the whole entire day, like, where do you do that? Only in New York where you find like fast friends like that, where you're like, oh, you're kind of cool.
Yeah, it was automatic family. Like that was the sense is like I know, and that's why when you say 7 years, I was like, really 7 years? Because I feel like I've known you for
Like 50,
25 years.
exactly.
But even because we only 25 years old, we both know that anyway. So from when the moment we was born.
100%, because we met when we were teenagers. So that's what we keep telling ourselves.
Exactly.
But over the course of getting to know you even better, you've gone from model to now this huge speaker, author, coach, executive coach. And I thought, who better to talk to about mentorship and helping people get to their next level? Who better to talk to about that than you? Because you've
I
always been
appreciate that. Yeah.
pretty motivational, just in our discussions over the phone. Just
Yeah,
uh,
we're always like, hey, what's next? What's the next level? How can we grow? And I'm glad we're kind of stepping into this relationship because I mean into this conversation right now,
mhm.
because there are so many people that I think are stifled by the circumstances of the times, as opposed to saying, well, what is next for me? How can I grow in the midst of all this?
100%. Yeah. I mean, and with so much devastation, it's understandable. You
Yeah,
know, some family members are just, you know, being taken away from them. So it's just kind of like,
yeah,
so someone like you steps in who has a good word, who's, done the work and really has it to give, to pour out to other people. I really do really appreciate you, all the work that you do. Um, Keep fighting the fight, bro.
hey, we're here about to make history on IG Live. And here's the thing, I feel like times like this make old men like us figure out technology and IG Live and how do you do this thing.
Yep, it's true. True.
Because I've done a couple where I was like, man, I don't know if I'm down with this IG Live stuff, and and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot, and now here we are making more things happen. So
Exactly.
it's good to create.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So look, I was doing some research and looking up some of your isms, your Johannes,
Okay,
and one cool thing that I saw was you said knowing your what is about the destination, knowing your why is about the importance of getting there.
right.
Just go into that because that alone was just like, whoa.
Well, let me ask you that first. What spoke to you about that?
Well, it spoke to me because it was like, you know, actually making the differentiation between the what and the why.
Yeah,
A lot of times we know what we want.
yeah,
We know, like, I know I want this, and that's my what. But peel it back a little bit. Well, why do I want it?
right.
Why do I want that? And you touched on something in your video on YouTube that said, well, maybe I want to be successful because I want to buy my mom a house.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I want to be successful because I grew up poor and I want to, have a better life for my family whenever we're growing up, or, whatever the case may be. So that's why it resonated with me, because you made the distinction between the what and the why. And
Yeah, and
I've heard that before.
oh yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is I think in the work that I do with people, oftentimes, we can get clear on the what pretty easily, but the why is what grounds us, right?
Yeah.
The why is what gives us an anchor. And the why is what's going to sustain us when things get difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because anything that we want that is significant in the world is going to come with obstacles, it's going to come with trials and tribulations and difficulties. If you're not rooted in a why, you're going to fall apart.
100%, 100%, bro.
So there's this, actually, I forget his name. There was this dude, he plays for the Celtics, and he's one of those cats. He was just drafted from Purdue, and on his wrist he has something that says "For Mama," and he's basically, this cat who struggled his way through college and like kept pushing, like hard work got him into the NBA, second round draft pick, and worked his way onto a slot for the Boston Celtics, and his why is clear.
For Mama's right there.
Right. He's like, I'm gonna work hard. I'm not gonna give up. It's not, I don't have an option here. Right. It's not like, well, okay, I gave it my best and I might as well give up. He's like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make it, because I mean, this is about the life of my mother. This is about the quality of life that I get to create as a human being for the people around me.
100% for the people I love.
Right. And I
Yeah.
think that's what most of us, we know the thing that we want, but we aren't really, really rooted in, why do we want that thing? Is it about impact? Is it about income? And I think some of us judge the income stuff. Like we want more money, but should we say that? There's nothing wrong with saying I want a little bit more money because I want to be able to provide for people in my life. Is it about intimacy? Is that your why? Do you want to have deeper friendships? Do you want to have deeper community? Is it about a sense of integrity in the work, knowing that you have a unique contribution in the world? Is it about independence? Some people just want to work for themselves too.
True.
I don't want to be a part of a big company. Like, so what is your why, and can you pinpoint it and then ground yourself in it?
That's crazy. So with what you do, and people are still coming in, and quick ground rules: take off your shoes in my house.
Yeah.
You're walking around my house and stuff. Okay, this is sacred ground. All right, clear your mind and all that good stuff. But with some of the things that you do, so you're a speaker, you're a coach,
Yeah.
and an author. I want you to talk about like that process too. Like, so whenever you're talking with someone, you're somewhat of a mentor. So like the reason why I'm doing these tailored talks, and this topic specifically is mentorship. Um, why do you, how did you get into this level of mentorship? Like, were you mentored by a strong mentor? Like, how did this process come to be?
I mean, and a little bit of my story. For me, it was, I never had anybody who taught me how to live, how to be a man, what was wisdom, even stuff like how do you balance a checkbook,
Yeah.
how do you dress, yeah, how do you treat a woman, I
Yeah.
mean, how to play ball, like all the things that are important to me. No one ever sort of took me to the side. And it's not to say, my dad is alive and well. That wasn't his expertise. My father came from the old school mentality of, I provide for you,
Yep.
so I'm doing my job,
That's
you
it.
know? And that was the thing. He didn't have the mindset. And, he never graduated from high school. He's from Iran. My mom's from Puerto Rico. So, being a Persian Rican, right, is all this
Wait,
cultural.
what was that?
I'm a Persian Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Persian Rican, right? It's a whole different category. Me and my brother are the only ones that I know of. Uh, and so I never, like,
Other.
that's right. And so growing up, my pops was there, but that was his mentality. It was like, I put food on the table, a roof over your head, that type of mindset. And then I have my uncle in my life who, he was drug addict, drug dealer, drug abuser, Latin king, like everything negative that you could think of. And I
Wow.
grew up around him, and I just knew that I didn't want to be like him.
Gotcha.
So I made the decision to be the complete opposite. So never taken a sip of alcohol in my life. I've never done drugs in my life. I've never joined a gang. That one was kind of easy to say no to.
Yeah.
For
For obvious reasons, that's
obvious reasons. And then once I got older, the gap that I experienced at a young age, I wanted to fill for kids like me who felt like they didn't have anybody to look up to or kind of teach them some wisdom or give them some insights, the scoop on life. I wanted to fill in that slot,
Yeah.
and that's a big part of what I gave my early life to. I started speaking when I was a senior in college,
Okay.
and then I did that in classrooms for 4 years.
That
What's that?
I didn't realize that you've been speaking for that long.
Yeah, yeah. I started in college. I did that for 4 years. And then I had an opportunity to do an article with a magazine in Chicago called The Red Eye.
Okay.
And I ended up being on the front cover. And then Tyra Banks Show heard about that. So then the Tyra Banks Show invited me to be on the show. They interviewed me. And then they brought me back for another episode called Tyra Plays Cupid. And so then Tyra hooked me up on a date. And then from that, my first conference opened to speak at, and then my first speaking tour happened after that, and then it just kind of snowballed. I've done a TEDx conference after that, everything. I mean, you name it, I've been able to speak in London and Belgium, Taiwan, Philippines, and it was all from this desire to want to fill a slot in life. I'd never experienced somebody who was just giving their voice to inner city kids like me, kids from the hood like me. So I was like, all right, this is what I want to do with my life.
Yeah. Well, thank you for answering that call too, because it's easy to kind of acquiesce into the norm of what you've seen. It's harder to kind of silence the noise around you and carve out a different path.
Right.
It's really, so thank you. I really do appreciate that, because what you do helps.
Honored.
Really, really does help others. So listen, I posted on Instagram. I do like a lot of inspirational quotes and stuff. I know you've seen it, but
Yeah.
I shared a quote that said, "Build each other up and help each other win."
Mm.
So I feel like throughout my life, people have done the same exact for me, where if they saw me kind of veering off the path, that somebody was snatching me back, like, "Yo, no, that's not how we gonna that's how."
Right.
At one point, I was a bully, and I remember getting kicked out of my elementary school. I don't even know if you knew that.
No.
Having to move schools to go to another school, I was immediately placed in a class that were like all these really, really smart kids. And it was a very mixed class. So it was like, black, white, Latino, Asian, everybody. And everyone was really smart. And that's when I started to kind of see and look around and stuff. And, there was like really strong male presence there. And, one of the teachers, Mr. Steele, I remember him specifically because his son was in my class, and he became somewhat of a mentor
Mm-hmm.
to me. And from afar, like he would, check in and stuff or whatever. But I just see him, and I'm like, whoa, he's like positive. His son is in my class. Like they're doing
Yeah.
great things. And so for me, that was like really, really influential. But I see that in society sometimes, like, you have the option. So
Yeah.
I wonder why you chose the way that you chose.
Yeah. I mean, oh,
Like,
I think my headphones might be going off.
you can't hear me? Is this
My battery. I may have to switch
uh,
these off real quick.
can you hear me now? Like, should I
Yeah.
use lint roller microphone?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Um, and that's what part of it was just necessity. Like I said, I came from an area where this is what was needed. It was a desperate need.
Gotcha.
And I think what we know, especially in our types of communities, right, where it's like most people are just looking out for themselves. It is a survival mentality. How am I gonna get mine? How am I gonna do what I need to do to survive day to day? And I felt like there must be more, where we're called to something bigger, we're called to something extra, as opposed to just merely survival. And the call to lead, the call to be a mentor,
Hmm.
to find the best part of ourselves was burning inside of me. And I decided, all right, like if I'm not going to do it, nobody else is. And that's kind of what I experienced when I was younger. Nobody did it.
Yeah. And
So,
it's funny that you say that because now I'm at a point where even my nephew is reaching out to me to ask me like questions, and I'm somewhat, becoming a mentor to him. And I'm seeing that whenever I talk, he listens. Like he's just
yeah.
quiet, kind of, on the path. So I just think this just it's interesting. I like to find out, you know, people's journeys and why they decided the way they decided, their path, and what really helps to shape them.
Well, and that's the thing, like part of it, that's what I'm saying is like when I was younger, it was part of it just like, okay, this is a need. And I said I think we romanticize sometimes our reason to get into things. You know, it's like it's gotta be this big, bold, drastic thing.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's just about, hey, is there a need? And can you fill in the need?
True.
Like, are you willing to choose to step into a gap in the world and say, because this is needed, and I have just willpower or I have the ability to choose, I'm
Exactly.
gonna step in and do it
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of feeling like there's magic and the romantic feeling is there.
Yeah.
You know, so many of, and I think that's why we have so many people who are paralyzed by, well, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. There's so many choices instead of being like, hey, where's the need? Go do something.
Yeah.
Go fill in the gap.
But you know what? With that, it takes a lot of wisdom. And whenever I think of mentors, when I think of mentor ships and mentees, and I've been both. I've been a mentee and I've been a mentor as well.
Yeah.
I feel like it comes from a place of wisdom. So I'm a nerd, so I looked up the definition of mentorship. So let me read that really quickly. A wise and trusted counselor, uh, guidance provided by a mentor, especially an experienced person in a company or educational institution. Also, influence, guidance, or direction given by a mentor, that's specifically for mentorship, and a tutor and a coach. And so, you know,
They
upon,
hit all the categories.
yeah, exactly, the categories, and it hits all of what you've been doing
Yeah.
currently. And so, what I want to ask you is in the society that we live in today, where there's a lot of social media experts out there
Yeah.
and
Oh,
coaches,
right. Right.
do you find it hard to mentor people now?
You know what, man? No, like there, I think so. This is part of where the magical feeling comes in, is for me at least. I feel like the hungry people, we find each other.
Yeah,
People who are hungry to grow, something happens where we cross paths.
yeah,
And sure, there are people who are stubborn and prideful, but I'm not looking for those folks,
of course.
right? And those folks aren't looking for me
Oh, now check
because,
it. Yeah.
yeah, they're not in that space yet, and that's okay. They're on their own timeline,
Mhm.
right? I get to work with people who are ripe and ready to, bet on themselves,
True.
to get out of their comfort, to get out of their conveniences,
And
and
to
ask themselves the question of like, what am I capable of? So that's what I get to do, and it is quite the privilege. Where I don't have to feel like I'm pulling teeth. I don't have to convince somebody like this is what you need to do.
true, true.
Where I think that's part of the old school mentality too, is like we have to force you into some sort of change. We have to like shake you until you
Yeah,
want to change your life. It's like no, no, none of that. You want to do this? Let's go.
yeah. Well, do you find it difficult? Because I know that you travel a lot and talk at not only like schools, but corporations and conferences. So you have a ton of different age ranges that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, or a speaking engagement basis. So
Yeah.
like when you're talking to someone who's a teenager in middle school, they may be a little bit more malleable. You can shape them and form them or whatever. But what happens?
You're like the old people are the problem. That's what
So what happens
the
whenever you're trying to mentor someone, on a level, maybe their interpersonal skills or whatever the case
Mhm.
may be? What happens when they're a bit more seasoned?
Well, so that's the thing is, and the way that from a coaching standpoint, it's not from the angle, even though there are some mentorship elements, it's basically saying, hey, you have the answers for your life. I'm here to hold space,
Gotcha.
right? I'm here to ask questions so that you can start to hear the way that you think. I'm here to create, help you create systems that keep you accountable to what you say you want to do in the world,
Yep.
right? So it's their own ownership. I actually had a call with a client the other day, and midway through the call, we were going through some of her contract outcomes. She owns her own business. She's doing really well, right? And she pauses me and she's like, hey, have you ever worked with a client who didn't hit their contract outcomes, who didn't get the results that they say that they wanted? And I just was like, hey, that's a very interesting question.
Yeah. That
And so
is.
we started, right? It's a very interesting question. We started to kind of like pick apart that question. And in it, I was like, I'm reading part of what you're saying is this going to work for me?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
I told her, I said, let me pause you, and I'm gonna let you know this is not gonna work for you.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so she was like, she kind of got frustrated. She's like, what? Like,
Yeah.
why, you can't, how are you gonna do that? And then I said, well, because this isn't gonna work for you. You have to work it.
Gotcha.
Like, this is you owning the life that you want to create. This is you owning the results that you want to create. That's the only way it's gonna work. You putting the onus on me to take you somewhere, or to perform some magic, or to sprinkle some fairy dust on you,
That's not
it's
gonna.
not going to work.
Yeah.
No, but the moment you show up to actually work the thing, that's when the results come. That's when the change happens.
Well,
And you could see like the shift from her, and again, we work with people, we have people in our life. It's constant blame. My life isn't what it is because of this. The moment you can say, hey, what can you own? What can you take responsibility for? That's when the shift happens.
wow. So her response was likely not favorable with you.
No, it was actually, that was part of the wake up, because she at first is just like, wait a minute, well, like, why wouldn't this work? And then once she got that shift to be like, oh, so it's on me. There's
Gotcha.
something freeing about people who understand it's up to them. And what do you want to do?
100%.
So she didn't fight it. She welcomed it, and actually you could see from that point forward, she started to show up and own more in the sessions that we had.
So would you say that what you're doing with that, from age to age, like it's easier to mentor younger people, but coach
Right.
more seasoned people?
Exactly. Yeah, because, young folks are willing to say, okay, you know more than me.
Yeah.
So like teach me because I don't know much. I mean, it's funny because
Some
yeah,
young
say it again.
people, I said some young folks,
Right.
you
I was
know,
just gonna say that. I'm like, it's dependent on what age you find them
yeah,
in. Because some of them are definitely like, I know more than you. And
yeah,
then, they get out of that as well too. But yeah, definitely when you coach older people, it's helping them understand that you have the answers that you need, not
yeah,
me, not me. And I'm gonna hold space for you. I'm gonna help you see how you think. I'm gonna keep reflecting it back. I'm gonna point out what I see is getting in your way. You can do whatever you want with it. And what's important there again is helping them figure out the vision that they want,
hmm,
and then help them see, well, is the life that you're living now in support or in opposition of that vision?
gotcha. Okay.
Because you may be doing things, saying things, living things that are actually in opposition of that vision.
Oh, yeah.
So
100.
now we get to get clear on those things and create habits, patterns, commitments, choices that actually support the life that you want to create.
See that's I love that because you're almost like taking the person to the answer that's already in,
Hmm.
like you're grabbing their hand and saying, let me show you what I see. Like,
Yeah,
here's a mirror.
that's it. And if we're honest, man, like I think this is what's the reason why coaching is even a career path right now is because so many of us are not willing to be honest with one another. We don't call each other out on our BS. Like it takes a special kind of friendship almost where you're like, hey, I can be real with you, you can be real with me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's like actually give each other the lowdown. But if you notice in most communities, you're like, yeah, this person does this, but I'm not gonna tell
That's so true.
them.
It's
Because if I tell them, then we're gonna get into a fight, or they're not gonna talk to me anymore.
or you're,
Fill in the blank.
part of this avoidance behavior where you're like,
Yes.
I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
I
So
don't want to, yeah. And that's what most people are committed to in friendships and communities is what they don't want,
yeah,
which is what it's a non-vision, right? We're we have an easier time coming up with what we don't want than what we do want.
It's true.
Right? It's like I don't want to create conflict. Cool. What do you want to create with that person that you're saying you don't want to fight with? Do you want to create peace? Do you want to create solidarity? Do you want to have open communication? Do you want to ask for forgiveness? What is it?
Yeah.
That takes work. Creating something with that person takes work. Avoiding the thing that you don't want, that's easy. Anybody can do that. But this one takes growth. This one's comfortable.
Gotcha. Man. All right. Well, listen, like, so I'm going to keep moving because I know we're got a time, situation going on. But I find it interesting that some people, like even Oprah,
Yeah.
she had a mentor, and I'm sure maybe she still even has a mentor now. And a lot of times she would speak very highly of Dr. Maya Angelou, and she would say, like, this is my mother figure, this is my mentor, and so I started looking into that a little bit deeper to see if she ever said anything about her specifically, and she did.
Oh,
She
wow.
says that she was there for me always, guiding me through some of the most important years of my life. Mentors are important, and I don't think anybody makes it in the world without some form of mentorship.
Hmm.
Do you find that to be accurate?
Oh, well, 100%. I feel like, so for me, I believe that in our life, we need three different types of relationships
Okay.
to really push forward. So one is a mentor relationship, right? Somebody that we can look up to, learn from, get the wisdom, the guidance. Another one is a reciprocal relationship, right? It's like, hey, it's back and forth. We're giving to each other.
Yep.
And then the other one is you actually investing in someone. Someone is your mentee.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's this triad where we understand we're always giving, receiving, and experiencing the equality with someone else. I
Got
feel like, to me, from my perspective, if you have those types of relationships in your life, you're actually living a healthy life.
So let's go back over that. So you said number one is
Yeah. So you have a mentor,
yes.
someone who's guiding you. You understand that you don't have it all figured out. So this person is helping you figure some things out that you can't see.
Yes.
Now, no matter where you are, you know something.
Yeah. True.
So
Yeah.
you can mentor someone.
True.
And then the relationships of reciprocity,
Yeah. Yeah.
the equal. Sometimes it's 60-40 for me. And there's plenty of brotherhoods like that where sometimes I'm carrying more, sometimes you're carrying more, sometimes we're right there neck and neck, but we understand it's a give and take.
See that's good. I hope people are writing that down.
Take notes on that one.
No, because it's good, and I think a lot of times what we do is we don't think about the full scope. So I'm in a place now where I've transitioned to a different age bracket.
Yeah, 25. We 25. That's what we said, right?
Yeah. So then I figure I have a mentor. I have a big brother. I actually spoke with him yesterday about authenticity,
Nice.
and for me it's just like yeah, I have a mentor. I also have friends like you that I can bounce ideas off of.
Yeah.
But then I also have people that I give back to, and I think that's the piece sometimes that's missing.
Mm.
A lot of people is that there's no like I'm being mentored too.
Hmm.
I'm getting good information from my friends. I've surrounded myself with like minds, but
Right.
the portion of me pouring back into someone else is that's lacking. Now, for me personally, I do it a lot. I enjoy pouring into other people and to
Yeah.
see them get to their next level. But I
Yeah.
think that is a missing portion for a
Well,
lot
I
of.
think that's the cool thing about it is we can all do that assessment. We can all take inventory and say, all right, where am I lacking right now?
Sure,
You know,
sure.
what's my vision for a mentor relationship, mentee, people who are actually, reciprocal relationships. Many of us we can't even pinpoint it. Therefore, we can't create it.
Exactly.
So once we could say, hey, I mean, do you agree with me? Cool. There's these three types of relationships. If you do, so how do you want to construct it? Where's the missing link right now? My historical complaint has been I always almost have like these mentor relationships from people that I don't have like tangible access to,
Gotcha.
right? It's like, oh, so I'm being mentored by the person who wrote this book. I'm being mentored by the person who gives this talk online. And I feel like I was like, I want to learn from these titans. And sometimes I'm like, I don't have access to those folks. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's where people like you come in, and you can say, "Hey,
That's it. That's it.
so I can help you along the way."
I
Do you-
just got a notice on my IG that says my 2 hour time limit has been done. So I got this little thing that only allows me 2 hours of Instagram a day.
oh,
So
really?
I got to go, man. Peace. No, I'm just playing.
Look, I'm wrapping up. I have a couple more questions for you, but on a deeper level, do you think that there's a correlation between mentorship and ministry? And I say ministry in a kind of like a definition term, like a Webster's definition
Yeah.
term of giving back, pouring into others. Do you think that there's any correlation?
Oh, I mean, I would say they're one and the same.
Yeah,
I don't think they're separated. I think anytime you are ministering, you are mentoring in some fashion. And so here's the thing, and you know me, I don't like anything that is conventional or traditional, right? I like finding the ways that we can make both happen at the same time.
yeah,
And I think part of it is there are people who want to separate things like mentorship and ministry and be like, why? What's the point?
true.
You know, they're married, so
Like,
let
okay,
them be married. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
there's more power when they're married.
Because essentially you're a vessel. Like
Right.
you have knowledge for whether it's a kid or whether it's a person who's more seasoned and older. You
Hmm.
whatever knowledge or whatever has been placed inside of you to give to them, and you
Hmm.
do it, and whatever they do with it is whatever they do with it. But at least you're accepting that call and being obedient to helping that person live their best life.
Yeah, and I mean sometimes it's just about presence.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's just, it's not about information. I think that's the thing that stifles so many people from wanting to step into some sort of mentoring relationship. It's like, I don't have enough knowledge.
got you.
It's like, you don't need to know anything. Let people feel the love that you have for them. Let
Wow.
them experience
Let
your
people feel
presence.
the love that you have for them. Let them feel.
Yeah, that in and of itself is a powerful mentor relationship. When you keep saying, "Hey, I'm showing up day in and day out." It's not that I have knowledge or wisdom sometimes. It's just I have presence, and you're
Got
gonna feel the fact that I'm not giving up on you, and we can figure out the tough things together. We can go after the job that you want together. I can feel, you can figure out how to fill out a resume.
yeah,
I mean, fill in the blank. That's part of, I think, for you being a married man, sometimes it's like, I'm showing up again. We had a fight last night. I'm here.
yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. Commitment.
I'm definitely not going nowhere now because
That's
mass.
the key. That's probably what I need to do to finally settle down.
I'm like, I'm leaving, but I'm going to the bedroom because
Exactly, exactly. I love it. I love it.
crazy. So listen, you've already. One of my questions was give me three benefits of having a coach, a mentor. What do you think are two or three benefits you think that
Oh
are
man. So there's so many. One of them, today I had actually an intake call. So I do intake calls
mhm,
with potential clients. One, I help people move from a vague vision for their life to a very specific one. And this is one of the things that is so common with people is we stay super vague with our vision.
yeah,
And there's a reason why we do that, right?
okay.
Like that's actually strategic. And one of the reasons why is you can't fail when it's vague,
When it's fake.
right? You don't look bad when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have money one day. What does that mean? You got money right now.
Exactly. And what is you talking about $14? Or you talking
Right,
about
exactly, exactly.
like
Yeah,
what is it?
I'm gonna have a better year this year. 2020 is gonna be a better year. I'm gonna have more success. There's so many people. That's the way they talk about vision. I'm gonna have better, more. I'm gonna do less of this, and we stay super vague because we're not on the hook for anything.
Gotcha.
So one of the first things that I help people do is like, let's get really, really specific with what you want. Now you're on the hook. Are you gonna go after that $175,000 that you haven't made before?
Hmm, hmm.
Are you are you going to start that business that has been in your heart, but you haven't had the courage to create yet?
Yeah.
You know, are you going to write that book? Are you going to talk with your boss who you feel like he's a punk and he's the worst person in the world? Like, whatever it is, it's like, let's get specific with it. Another portion of it is holding space for someone's integrity. And so here's what's key for us. For us in the coaching work, integrity is, do you do what you say you're going to do?
Okay. Okay.
So we help them see there's two forms of integrity in terms of how it shows up in your life. One, your integrity with others. When you give your word to other people, do you actually do it? Then this is the one that usually hits for a lot of folks. Your integrity to yourself. When you tell yourself you're
That
going to do something, do you actually do it?
go through.
Right? This is why we have so many cliches when it comes to New Year's resolutions. Is because we say this is the year,
The year I'm gonna lose 20 pounds.
and then
Mm,
it's your word to you, but you're like, I can let myself off the hook.
yeah.
So in a coaching relationship, it's like I don't let you off the hook at all.
Gotcha.
Anytime a commitment is broken, we walk through a growth process. So I help people see what's getting in their way. I
Okay.
help them discover some of the non-conscious beliefs that are holding them back, or the lower level commitments that are getting in their way.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would say those are a couple of the primary things, that I love to walk with people through.
Bro, that's good.
Yeah,
That,
it's good stuff.
yeah. And like, how did you just learn this from like reading or like
You're like, where's the book? No,
okay.
I did, man. So here's the thing. I paid $25,000 to be a part of a program to train me how to coach, and I'm part of a firm right now. So there's a Meta Performance Institute at Novus Global that basically they train coaches, and we have some of the most elite coaches in the world in the firm. Our CEO actually, he's like in the top 0.001% in terms of earners. To work with him for a year, it costs $100,000 a year just for one person to work with him. Yeah. And that's the difference between when you say executive coaching versus, life coaching. Is like, I don't work with people who are like, I want to lose 25 pounds. I'm like, cool, you need a trainer. You know what I mean? I'm talking, yeah, exactly. It's like, there's totally different results that we're working with, and there's totally different sectors in executive coaching.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you have a book.
I do have a book.
Yes. So because you're an author, I want to support that. I want you to
Yeah.
explain to the people who are viewing like a little bit about your book. Yeah, just a little
I
bit.
appreciate that. You just pumping me up right now. I appreciate
Hey,
that.
hey.
Hey. So yeah, you can find it on my website on www.johankhalilian.com. And so the name of the book is called Inside. And essentially, it's about the talk that I give. The big talk that I give is called The Crazy Ones. I'm inviting people to become crazy enough to change the world. And
Okay.
so it's a leadership guide for crazy ones. It's an inside look into the character that you need to be crazy enough to change the world.
See, that's just dope, man. So
Let's go.
I'm putting your site up right now, trying to at least. I am of
We
that.
still we still 25 years old trying to figure out technology.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out like, hey, you guys see that? Can you guys see that?
There it is. I see it.
There it
I see
is.
it.
All right. Cool. So now I don't know how to get down from there. Look, do you guys have any questions? Like super quickly? Anybody that's
Oh,
watching? Any
yeah.
questions? No? Because we
Write-ins quick because it's on a delay, isn't it? It's like a little delay. So when you ask that, they write in a question maybe like 2 minutes later.
yeah,
We see it.
something like that. So maybe that's not a good idea. But so one last question.
Yeah.
And then I have a lightning round.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
What advice would you give to someone who feels stuck? Because I feel like a lot of times when people identify that they need a mentor, that they need a coach, that they're coming from a place of feeling stuck, of being stuck. So what advice would you give to someone who feels like that?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually one of the most common things. Is like, I feel stuck.
Hmm.
Well, the first thing I would say is, well, where can you act? Usually somebody who's stuck is basically what they're saying is I'm stuck in my head,
Gotcha.
right? It's like I don't know what choice to make.
Yeah.
I, and so it's just like, hey, how about just choose? Some people could be stuck with writer's block and they're trying to figure out this thing of like, I don't know how to solve this dilemma. Well, just write for 5 hours tomorrow.
Wow.
I'm stuck with I don't know where to move. Hey, talk to 5 people, see what they think, and then choose by the end of the week. What we're stuck in is really this mindset that says there's a right choice or a perfect choice.
Yes, that is so.
That's what creates that stuckness.
That's so good. That's so good. I feel like that is the hindrance where you think that there's a right and a wrong answer,
Right.
and the beauty of it's not really
And
either.
this is the thing, man. This is what I've, you and I have learned this as we get older. It's no matter what you choose, it kind of all leads to the same place.
Place.
But we want to think again, we want to believe in a magical choice
Yeah.
instead of understanding there's power in your choice, period. That's it. So choose.
Dope, man. I appreciate you. I really do, man.
Dog, we making things happen.
Listen, wise beyond your years. Wise beyond
25 years old.
25 years. This guy spitting all this knowledge and stuff. This is crazy. So look, I want to close out on this quote, and then we go into the other round.
Let's do it.
Whoopi Goldberg says,
Uh-oh.
Whoopi. I love me some Whoopi Goldberg. I really do. I want to meet her one day too. We're here for a reason. I believe a bit of the reason is to throw little torches out, to lead people through the dark.
Mm.
And I think today you just threw out so many gems and so many torches, and you're helping leading people through the dark and into the light. And I really
love that. I love the wisdom of Whoopi. I don't get enough of Whoopi's wisdom. That's great. That's dope. That's really dope. I definitely resonate with that.
Listen, I saw the quote and I was just like, okay, Whoopi.
You're like, true Whoopi.
All right, Reverend Dr. Whoopi.
Right? Seriously.
So look, this is called Think Fast. All right.
Okay,
so
think fast.
questions.
Hold on. Let me take this headphone thing because I'm.
Uh-oh. Johan, no, you're freezing. He's caught up in the matrix, y'all. Hey, there you are. I was like, wait, what's going on?
Okay.
So look, give or take.
Hold on.
So look, my first question, give or take.
Give.
Work or sleep?
Oh, work.
Loving basketball or loving hip hop?
Oh that's the hardest question I've ever had in my life. Loving basketball. Dang.
Hey, fiction or nonfiction?
Ooh, fiction.
Okay. Gucci or Prada?
Damn, Gucci.
Because we stay fly. We try to at least. Yeah. Travel alone or travel buddy?
Oh man, travel buddy. I'm an extrovert. Travel buddy all day.
That's what's up. City or suburbs?
City. Come on now. I'm from Chicago, baby.
With that said, bus or metro?
Damn, Metro.
Mercedes or BMW?
Mercedes. Let's go.
Okay. New York or LA?
Oh, why you gonna do that to me?
Watch him.
You know I live in LA. I'm choosing LA right now.
Okay, all right. I'll let you slide on that one.
Appreciate that.
Paris or London?
Paris.
Okay. Sneakers or boots?
Sneakers.
All day. Hoodies? Oh, hey! I see you. You.
Sir.
You were supposed to take off your shoes in my house, though.
Well, we both, ain't we? No, just like.
Oh, well, in your house, take off your shoes. Michael. Oh, well, no. Hoodies or suits?
Oh, see, because I do the suits with the hoodie.
The hoodie, I know.
So I got to choose.
Or not, whatever you.
Yeah, because I do both. That's how I'm on that one.
That's what's up. There's no right or wrong.
There's no right or wrong. Bam, bring it together.
Boom. Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Come on, man. Michael Jordan. Let's go.
It's a no-brainer.
That's not even. You need to take that question off.
Okay, so I'll omit that question. Yeah. All right. And lastly, teacher or student?
Man, student.
Always a student.
Best teachers are lifelong students.
And on that note, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Love you.
My brother.
You.
Thank you for making this.
Yes. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. So look, more of this often.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So
old ass man on IG Live. Who would have thought it?
I didn't know 25 was old, but I guess it is.
Oh, damn, yeah, 25, 25. My bad, my bad.
Exactly. So,
Somebody wrote like 25. Really, y'all are 25? We shouldn't be our real age, huh?
yeah, hey, nah, I mean, whatever. I'm not ashamed. It's all good. They'll find out. They can do the research.
Let's keep them guessing.
Exactly. All right, brother.
Much.
Have a good one, man. Love you too.
Peace.
Peace.